In this video, I am going to explain about multi-level queue scheduling and multi-level feedback queue scheduling. I'll explain this concept with the help of an example. Let us assume that processes P1 to P10 are waiting for the CPU, but CPU is busy in doing some other work. So, all the processes from P1 to P10 are waiting in the ready queue. So this queue is called the ready queue. So all the processes are waiting in the ready queue. Then whenever CPU is free, then we can choose the one process among these processes and we can allocate the CPU for that process, right? It can be any process. Let us assume that it is PI. Now, in order to choose the process, here we will use the scheduling algorithms. For example, if you use first come first serve scheduling algorithm, in order to choose the process, now first CPU will be given to P1, then P5, then P2 and so on. If we use the shortest job first, then let us assume that P8 is the shortest job. It requires only 1 millisecond of CPU time. Then CPU will be given to this process P8. Okay, like that, based on the scheduling algorithms, these processes will get the chance, right? So but here if you observe, the type of these processes may be different, right? For example, if you consider a computer system, if you want to work with the computer system, then operating system is the important software, right? Without operating system software, you cannot work with the computer system. So the processes which are related to the operating system are called the system processes. Okay, operating system related processes are called the system processes. Now, for example, let us assume that you are playing a game in the computer system. For example, you are playing chess game. Then if you make any move, then based on your movement, there should be some reaction from the system, right? So when you are playing using the computer system, okay, that means those processes, here game process is called the interactive process, because there is an interaction between you and the computer system and you need immediate interaction, right? So when you make any move in the chessboard, then you are expecting a move from the system. That movement should be quick, right? So here those processes are called interactive processes. And let us assume that you are downloading some files from the internet. You want to download some songs or documents or movies from the internet. Then you start downloading those files. Okay, so you start downloading and there will be downloaded in the background, right? So you can do other work with your computer. Those files will be run in the background. Actually those files will not require immediate response, right? So you can collect those files later also, right? So you have started the download, but here the response time is not important, right? Those processes are called batch processes. Okay, and let us assume that you are writing a C program or you are preparing a Microsoft Word document. Okay, those are called user programs or student processes. Okay, like that we have 1 to 10 processes, right? In those processes, some of them may be system processes, some of the processes are interactive, and some of the processes are batch processes, and some of the processes are system processes, student processes. So we cannot, it is not better to place all the processes in one queue, and here we are following only one scheduling algorithm for all the processes, right? So it is not the better way. Different processes types have different priority, right? So if you observe, system processes will have high priority, then interactive processes has high priority, and these processes have some medium priority, and student processes have low priority. So it is not better to keep all the processes in one queue. That is the base concept of multi-level queue scheduling. In the multi-level queue scheduling, what we will do is we will divide this ready queue into different parts, or we are maintaining different ready queues. Instead of having only one ready queue, here we are having different ready queue. Here I have given only 4 ready queues. You can have many ready queues based on the type of your processes. Okay, so here I have 4 ready queues. system related processes. For example, let us assume that P0, P7, P9 are the system processes. So they are placed here and these are the high priority processes. Next P1, P2, P8 are interactive. So I have placed here. Then these are batch processes and this is the student process. This is the high priority, this is the low priority and these are the medium priority processes. Here if you observe, when you have a processes in a queue, then we should use scheduling algorithms, right, in order to give CPU to the processes. Here also we have different processes in each queue. Okay, here each queue may follow a different scheduling algorithm. Here if you observe, for interactive processes, we know that the interaction or response should be very quick, right? So here let us assume that I am using round robin scheduling. That means in this queue, in order to select the process and in order to give CPU to the particular process, I will use round robin scheduling algorithm. Let us assume that for this queue I am following the first come first serve. Here the response time is not important, right? So I am following the first come first serve. And for, let us assume that for student jobs I am following shortest job first. Okay, here I am following the priority scheduling. Let us assume that here for each and every queue we are following the different scheduling algorithms. Okay, when you have a different ready queues or multi-level queues, these are the different level queues, right? In a multi-level queue, in each queue you can follow different scheduling algorithm. Okay, that means if you want to execute the processes in the batch system, here I am using the first come first serve. That means first I will give CPU to P3, then P4, then P5. In that way I will execute it. But here we have one doubt, right? Here we have different queues, right? Then which process will get the first chance? Here I have P0, P1, P3, P6. I have these many processes, right? Then which process will get the CPU? That is the question, right? So among these queues also we will follow another scheduling algorithm. Okay, so first which queue should be executed? We should decide that, right? So that is called the scheduling among the queues. Scheduling among the queues. Okay, we should follow the scheduling among the queues. So here we are following the fixed priority preemptive scheduling. Fixed priority preemptive scheduling. I will explain this with the help of an example. This is the high priority queue, right? So in this scheduling scheme, first all the high priority processes will be executed. What are the high priority processes? P0, P7, P9. So first these three processes will be executed. So you can follow any method, priority scheduling or round robin or shortest job first. You can follow any scheduling in this queue, but finally we should execute all these processes first. So priority, first a high priority process will be executed. Then when this queue is empty, after executing these three processes, then control comes to our CPU will be given to the interactive processes. Now P1, P2, P8 will be executed. Okay. After that, this queue is also empty. Now P3, P4, P5 will be executed. Okay. So let us assume that now I am executing P4. At this time, one high priority process has come. That is Q1. Q1 is the high priority process. So Q1 has come into the high priority queue. Now what happens? Presently system is given to the at this moment CPU is given to the P4 and P4 is executing, right? But in this scheduling, in the fixed priority preemptive scheduling, we will take away the CPU from the process P4. Okay, we will take the CPU from the process P4 and we will give the CPU to the Q1. That means we are taking forcefully CPU from the process P4 and we are giving it to the high priority process, because this is a low priority and this is a high priority. So while executing P4, we have another process, high priority process has come into the queue. So CPU should be taken away from this process forcefully and CPU will be given to the Q1. Okay, this is called fixed priority preemptive scheduling. Preemptive means we are forcefully taking the CPU from P4 and giving it to Q1. That is called preemptive scheduling. And priority preemptive means we are giving priority to the processes. So higher priority process will be executed first, then lower priority processes will be executed. Okay, so here each process has a fixed priority. That means in this scheduling, the priorities assigned to the processes are fixed. That means later you cannot change the priority of process P0. You cannot move P0 to this place, or you cannot move P1 to this place, or P3 to this place. Okay, here the priorities assigned to the processes are fixed. Okay, that's the reason it is called, this scheduling is called fixed priority preemptive scheduling. Okay, so now what is the problem with this scheduling? So here we have a problem. Let us assume that now I am executing P4 and P5. Let us assume that all the processes in this queue is finished. Here also all the processes finished its execution. Here also all the process finished its execution. Now P1 started its execution. Let us assume that here I have P6 and P16. P6 started its execution. After P6, P16 will get the chance, right? But before executing P6, high priority process come into the queue. Okay, so let us assume that Q2 is the process, high priority process. Now CPU will be taken from P6 and it will be given to the Q2. So while executing Q2, I have another process Q3 in the high priority queue. Then CPU will be given to Q3. Then another high priority process came, Q4. Then CPU control will be given to Q4. Like that, only high priority processes are getting executed. Here low priority process P16 have to wait for long period of time. This is called starvation. Starvation is nothing but one particular process is waiting for long period of time for the CPU, but it is not getting the CPU. That is called starvation. This is the problem with the multi-level scheduling, multi-level queue scheduling, because P16 has been waiting for the CPU for the long period of time, but it is not getting the CPU. This is called multi-level queue scheduling problem. So to solve this problem, we use multi-level feedback queue scheduling. We use multi-level feedback queue scheduling. In the multi-level feedback queue scheduling, let us assume that this is the situation. So what is the situation? We will consider the same situation. P16 has been waiting for the long period of time, so there is a starvation. Okay, so now in the multi-level queuing, what it will do is, when a particular process is waiting for long period of time, then after some period of time, after some time quantum, let us assume that after 8 milliseconds or after 4 milliseconds, otherwise we can call this number as a time quantum. We can call it as a time quantum. So after a fixed amount of time, so what it will do is, it will move the process from low priority to the high priority. Okay, low priority to the high priority. So now it has the high priority, so there is a chance of executing this process quickly. Okay, let us assume that now P16 has come to this queue. Then also it is not getting its chance, because only these two queues are executing currently. It is not getting chance. Then what it will do is, again it will move P16 from this queue to the interactive queue. Now it can get the chance, right? So let us assume that only high priority processes are executing, it is not getting its turn. Now it will, P16 will be moved from low priority to the high priority. Now definitely it will get the chance and it will be executed. CPU, we can give CPU to this process and we can execute this process. Okay, like that we can solve this problem by using the multi-level feedback queue. In the multi-level feedback queue, what we can do is, when a particular process is waiting for a long period of time, when there is a starvation, then we can change the priority of the process and we can move that process to the higher level. But in case of multi-level queue scheduling, priority is fixed for each and every process. You cannot move the process from one level to the other level. So there is a starvation problem. But in case of multi-level feedback queue, so what we can do is, we can move the process from one level to the other level.